Welcome back to the LCS Lounge. Emily's getting in a quick power nap before the final 2 tiebreaker games of the day.
Oh no, producers told me I was dead.
Let's pull up the Samsung SSD Fast 5 for this week.
Throw them up.
Here we go.
Ooh, it's always fun to see a new face up there, Shaden, right now, pretty high up. Had a great week.
Yeah, and also, I do want to highlight over in mid, M&S, Palafox, and JoJo. I know a lot of people have kind of been talking about Palafox's resurgence after the Player of the Week last week. Had a up and down week a little bit, but also M&S in their past 2 games has kind of just been on split pushing duty.
Yeah.
He's been performing really well.
Shout out to the only IMT one I see out there, Treats. I mean, just IMT, I know, in their dying breath, they put up a fight, took down NRG, and in general, just like had a pretty good last 2 weeks. So it's nice to see them at least end on a positive.
Yeah, they play without limits today for sure. A reminder that Samsung has partnered with Sleeper and Fantasy LCS, and you can earn bonus points each week for drafting the fastest performers. Congrats to those who earned bonus points this week. Plus, use code SSD990LCS through August 20th to get 10% off a 990 Pro 1 and 2 terabyte SSD. But now, for those of you who have been watching the whole day, or even just last game, we did the secret exam thing. That was really fun. We
killed it.
We crushed it. Yeah, we crushed it. It's this. What's the name of it?
I don't know.
It's called the Immaculate Square. It got this.
You were about to say something else, weren't you?
We did really well in the last one. Apparently, this one is evil. Our producer Manny put it together. So Raz, you're gonna draw this time.
Yeah,
right.
let's go.
It activates a different part of the brain when you're standing. So we're gonna do even better. Okay.
Whoa.
Echo Fox, Tip, Phoenix 1, and Team Liquid.
Okay.
Oh, this is tough.
Oh, and CLG. So MVP is Rush, but Rush spent time on Phoenix 1, did he not?
I don't think so.
I'm already struggling.
Arrow won.
Arrow was on Phoenix 1.
Arrow was on
so
Phoenix
let's put
1,
Arrow there. Let's temporarily throw Core JJ in the MVP pool as well.
For TL.
Yeah, we can erase it later, because if it's evil, it's supposed to be a little bit troll at the end. And then Afro Moo MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So already we're like 3/9 of the way done.
He said this was hard.
Oh, I was gonna say, so Afro can also be a potential, oh wait, no.
Yeah, Impact was Team Liquid TIP.
Yeah.
Team Impulse, Team Liquid, Tip, yep. This is where it's gonna get harder.
Ooh, Echo Fox and Team Liquid. This is just difficult.
Yeah, because it's weird, because it's like a different square that we have.
Dang.
Mike Young was on a lot of teams. Dardoch was on a ton of teams. Let's put Dardoch
we're good.
Dardoch is Echo Fox COG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's think about who was on Team Impulse, because they had a lot of variations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't Rush on CLG a little bit? Someone was on CLG for a tiny bit, because he said 1 game.
Yeah, it's at least 1 game.
But I mean, I don't think so.
COG Team Impulse. We need to go through Team Impulse players.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to.
Well,
Impact,
Impact's already taken
Gate.
out. Gate.
Gate.
Apollo, Hakaho.
Apollo.
Wasn't Gate also on Phoenix 1?
I don't know if it's for sure. This could be wrong, but let's put it down.
Put down a question mark next to it so we know that's pretty shaky.
The Team Liquid Echo Fox ones is also Dardoch, but we can't. Can we use it? Can we double use a player?
No.
No.
Generally, we cannot do that in this game.
I heard no.
Dang. This is a hard one.
Yeah.
Wow,
You're blanking,
right.
man. You're blanking.
I'm blanking hard.
We're all blanking at this point.
Yeah, I'm really trying to remember TIP.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a tricky one.
Like, wasn't Ninja on that team? Xiao Xiao was on that team.
Oh,
Xiao Xiao? No, he's never on COG, though.
Yeah. Xiao Xiao was only on LMQ, and then I think TIP.
Apparently, we still have 4 minutes, so we can take our time.
We can
Who are some COG journeymen? Or should we start doing the... Let's do Echo Fox Team Liquid or Echo Fox P1.
Yeah.
Because let's remember...
Team Liquid we know.
So P1 was like... I mean, I feel like Mike Young has to be
Golden
one
Glue?
of these answers.
Oh, Golden Glue. Was he ever on Echo Fox? Because he was definitely on Team Liquid. I don't think he was ever on Echo Fox.
That's hard.
Phoenix for sure.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Actually,
yes.
put that in the TL.
Some OG LCS fans are getting this, but the new viewers are like, what is going on?
What are you guys even talking about?
Echo Fox, Froggen was their franchise player.
That's why I'm just like stuck on Froggen, but it doesn't work.
They had like
Huni at one point, didn't
they? Did have Huni. They had like the Huni Dardoch roster.
Yeah, exactly.
That was with Apollo Hakuho. I'd love it if Echo Fox Tip were together, but they're not. So I think we're missing 3. I'm sure we're right on.
Yeah, I'm not certain about
on
Gate.
6 of them, but the bottom 3 are tough.
Keith was on there too for Echo Fox. The top lane. Oh man. I'm drawing a blank on Phoenix 1 particularly. That one's the one time.
Like
okay, we want some Phoenix 1 players. Go through the roster. Yeah, Nori was one.
Oh.
Ryu was one.
Oh, Ryu was ever on Tip? No.
I don't think so.
No, he went to 100 Thieves. 100
yeah.
Someone in the chat's getting the right answer.
I know.
Sure
it's like
are,
chat is screaming at us right now.
He's pissed. That one guy in chat.
He wants to come through the monitor.
He's just like.
I might cut us short. We're 2.5 minutes technically.
Yeah, I kind of.
It's less embarrassing if we quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see the answers.
Well, come on, just throw a guess in, man. Just like let's pick a player that was on Tip or Echo Fox.
Seraph.
Oh, how could we forget Seraph, man?
Oh,
and it was Mike Young.
It was Mike Young. I didn't know he was an
We
Echo
should have put
Fox.
him in there.
And we had Gate, right?
Yeah, we did have Gate, correct.
We did have Gate.
Right.
We got Gate.
We got Impact, so that was a big
one.
one.
Man, we had the Mike Young one. Seraph, we were never
Wow,
gonna get
Purian. I forgot Purian played for both those teams too.
Oh, DeMonte was also on Echo Fox. But yeah, the Seraph one killed us.
Yeah, that's what crushed us.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay, we're done with that.
Damn you, Manny.
Soon we will play tiebreaker games.
True.
And every year we play 90 regular season games, but we're almost never done then. So we do this thing with the foldy sheet, and you gotta ask yourself, what are tiebreaker games? Let me tell you. For the blind, tiebreaker games are the light. For the hungry, tiebreaker games are the bread. For the thirsty, tiebreaker games are the fountain. For the sick, tiebreaker games are the cure. For the prisoner, tiebreaker games are the freedom. And for the broadcast, tiebreaker games are hard.
Nice head.
Amen. Casters.
All right, who was tearing the paper next to their mic?
Who was crinkling that? It was inside my eardrums.
That's the ASMR I do not want.
Ripping paper up.
I know what it was.
Yeah.
Why,
why was it in my ears?
Yeah, now I just got blasted by producers going, that was ripping paper.
Hey, you guys like this noise?
No, stop that. Get that away from there. What are you doing? It's tiebreakers. We have the 7th versus 8 tiebreaker, Dignitas versus 100 Thieves. So with the stakes this high, we had to bring in the dive cast.
Of course.
They would only trust this huge, monumental
I mean,
to us.
For people who don't know, 7th, 8th, massive implications. Both teams in the lower bracket no matter what.
Yep.
Both teams unsure of who they're playing because it will matter what happens in the upper bracket, who loses, who ends up coming down there.
But it could possibly, in some situations, be an advantage if you win.
In the future. Or it could be worse if there's an upset. Potentially.
Could be a disadvantage also.
You don't know. So obviously, massive incentive for both teams to win this game right now.
We will all be looking back 3 months from now thinking the winner of this game, how far they've come.
Yep.
Now they're taking down defending world champions.
This is first
when
step.
they voice the Summoners Cup in Seoul, Korea 3 months from now.
This is the first step to becoming the next DRX, you know?
Yeah, if people don't know, DRX almost didn't qualify for Worlds.
If you don't know, DRX was in the 7th, 8th playoff tiebreaker for the LCS last year.
If you didn't know, they
little
played,
known fact.
They started in North America.
Started in North America. Were able to win that 7th, 8th place tiebreaker. Went straight to LCK, won Worlds. Just like that.
Deep lore.
If you didn't know, Quid loves Azir, and so Dig First Bandit as well. Boom. Seamless transition into the actual game.
Nailed it.
I don't have anything to say now, though. I only had memes. I didn't have analysis ready. What is this? I mean, Jensen doesn't play a lot of the common Azir heavy counter picks like a Yone that people might do, stuff like that. And he also prefers to play Azir himself. So if you're not going to early rotation it, makes sense. Ban it away from Quid. Get rid of his best champ.
Kai'Sa first pick on blue side. Could it be?
Nope.
The flex. The void. coming to a Dignitas versus 100 Thieves matchup near you.
This is not a flex for Dignitas. I would go so far as to say. I would say this is actually just Tomo's best AD carry, and Jensen will not play Kai'Sa mid.
Jensen played some Jayce games this split. He played some
He's
Tristana.
branching out.
He's gotten it in there. Maybe he's just been baiting you into a false sense of
10-year long con
over the last decade.
I spent my entire career leading up to this playoff match. As they stated, the implications of this match are huge.
I really want him to do it now. Oh, there's a lot riding on me now. I'm emotionally invested.
Quid has not also been a guy who would play marksman mid, so it is interesting to see the Tristana unironically coming through 400 Thieves. It could obviously be going down to Doublelift, but Doublelift has not, I don't think, played it so far this split.
Tree on tree violence.
The nature is battling itself. Also, the Jayce, to your point, they called it. There it is for Jensen. The poke comp that you see pairing together, Kai'Sa and Jayce being a frequent thing these days. And you have the Maokai to root them up. Yeah, this is a very annoying comp to deal with that we've seen them play before.
All right, Ssumday likely to be the answer here for 100 Thieves. Going to be able to grab this up. We'll see if they want to throw up some protection bands up towards top lane on the 100 Thieves side. And obviously, for Dignitas,
oh, they do.
They could be targeting some mid laners potentially here.
Even though last time Rich played allowing to Ssumday, racked up like 5 deaths real fast. Doesn't matter.
We were casting that game. That is a protection ban for Rich.
Yeah.
That's a homie stock that they're giving him.
Honestly, though, yeah, if you are going to continue protecting, like a Gwen would also be thrown in there. But they could just turn their sights towards support or something like that.
Are you a fan of the Maokai support at all? We saw it the one game, I think, this week. It's been played in solo queue a fair bit, but it's never really been that popular in competitive.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the support. I feel like it's just so much better positioned as jungle right now, getting to move around so much more frequently.
Yeah, I also I'm glad to see hopefully a little bit more proactivity coming out from the Dig comp, because we saw when NRG played 100 Thieves this week and lost to them, they went for this idea where, okay, 100 Thieves doesn't do anything in the early game, so let's just pick all scaling. And then that gives the breathing room for 100 Thieves to actually go and make plays in that early game. And so I like seeing the Jayce and hopefully something strong up here on the top side for Rich with that counter pick, even though it won't be the Alawi, something else to find some proactivity on the map for them.
Yeah, the Malphite ban a little bit surprising to me. You know, maybe they are just going to go more of a full physical damage comp here, you know, considering something else coming through, because we are expecting this to be Tristana mid, but they're saving 5th pick here for AD or mid, so they are obviously keeping it open as a flex here between Doublelift and Quid. I don't think Malphite makes sense as a ban unless you are considering double physical damage AD carry, so that is kind of my understanding here, is that it is going to be a standard AD for Doublelift as 5th pick, and it's going to be Quid piloting that Tristana mid.
Blitzcrank for Poome, here we go.
Okay. I mean, the Blitzcrank ulti, oh wow,
whoa,
we got Fiora.
Nice. All right, they're going to put even more faith into Rich. See if they can get some split pushing going up on the top side. And now the final reveal here for 100 Thieves.
And the Blitzcrank ult is going to be really nice. There's a lot of shields over on the 100 Thieves side that you can pop with your ulti. Ivern shields, the E on Ssumday, the shield as well off of the Nautilus. Blitzcrank has been getting some more attention in bans, but not really getting picked that much. It is going to be the
It's
Sivir.
just a Sivir comp! Doublelift returns to his old mainstay. Sivir coming up big. Haven't seen
500 CS win condition.
The first one this split, maybe.
I want to say so. It definitely has not been popular at all. So, okay, how many?
5% pick rate, LCS
2023. So
that's the entire LCS, I think.
Yeah, so it has been played a little bit here, but obviously going to be a pretty good answer into the Blitzcrank with the spell shield. But tiebreakers means it's nearly time for LCS playoffs. And starting next Thursday, we'll be back for 3 weeks of double elim action as teams battle for a spot at the LCS Championship in Newark. Check out LOL Esports for more information. And remember, we are not going to be on Wednesdays going forward in playoffs. No more Wednesdays. The schedule will vary from week to week. Some have weekends, some are not fully on weekends. So definitely check out the schedule on lolesports.com. It's also on Google. I find that pretty handy.
It's a good website.
Yeah, I like Google.
Just memorize it.
Also,
if you were a real fan.
Also,
True.
check out the dive. We're going to keep doing the dives during playoffs as well.
We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, shameless
we may.
plug. Or we may not. Maybe we just make fun of Mark.
Tune in to find out.
Who can say?
See,
I think that you do know for sure. If there's an episode of Dive, I will be made fun of.
All right, well, Dignitas, 100 Thieves loading in for this one. Both teams trying to end their split here on a high note, trying to go into playoffs with a little bit of momentum and potentially a small advantage there in the lower bracket. You know, there will be the expected slight advantage. You, on paper, have a higher chance of getting an easier opponent, you know, if you are that 7th place position. But I always just feel like it just feels good to end your split on a win.
definitely want to head in with some momentum. There is some differentiation, I feel like, in the strength of teams in the 3 through 6 slot. It does feel like EG is someone who you are worried about bumping into maybe the most. Team Liquid does have explosive early games, and so you want to try and avoid those two if they drop down onto your side of the bracket.
Do like the Sivir pick here, even as rare as it is, as we were going over it though, into the Blitzcrank, Doublelift, still has the hands to be able to hit these spell shields.
Is a comp where there is very obvious targets coming your way. Obviously in lane, Blitzcrank hook, you're going to want to block that. A shock blast in laning around mid lane, because oftentimes you just poke your Sivir in the mid lane. You want to just wave clear. If they try and hit you with Kai'Sa W or a Jayce Q, you can kind of just absorb that and keep wave clearing.
You can see Dignitas was looking for a level 1 here. Anytime you have a Fiora, you have to be pretty careful as a jungler starting topside, because you can get harassed pretty heavily by this.
And especially when you're playing against an Ivern. Keep on mentioning this, even though we haven't seen like a really good punish on an Ivern. Most of the teams have done a good job defending their early Ivern clears, but it is possible, to get an early lead that way. If you don't disrupt it, Ivern right now just has such an easy, super fast clear. It looks like not going to be disrupted right here. Closer is going for a little bit of a variation though, because he was a little slow getting over to this side. So he's not doing the normal Blue Wolves over to red side transition and then use his smite on Gromp. He'll have to do the ping pong back.
Yeah, we'll have to check as well. I could be wrong, but this might be Closer's first game on the Ivern. Don't think he has busted it out thus far.
Not that I can remember. It's going to be a tough game, I think, for Poome, though. When you're looking at the 2 targets he wants to get, if Quid times the rocket jump properly, you can buffer out of the hook. And also, therefore, Doublelift has the spell shield, so not really easy targets. Daisy also can really make things more complicated for those hook champs in the 5v5, so we'll have to see how they can execute on that, if they can force spell shields or set up ways for Poome to get those easier hooks.
Just checked. It is, in fact, the first competitive Ivern game for Closer.
And he's already showing the mastery of the Wolves Blast Cone tech, hitting the Q, taking the Blast Cone, getting both. I did see someone sadly tweet out that technically, it is slower than just doing it normally.
But it looks so cool.
I was like, no way. My whole world is shattered right now. So much pride in being able to do the Blast Cone trick. I haven't actually double checked it myself to see if it is like half a second slower or something like that.
You've been in the practice tool grinding for weeks, perfecting it.
I'm just going to keep doing it because it looks cool.
It does look cool. It's something, gives confidence to your teammates. If I tap over to the jungle, I see you doing that. It's like, okay, this guy knows how to play Ivern.
Yeah, Mark's telling me, oh man, he's never played Ivern before. I'm like, yeah, but did you see that?
You also just have to have some really obscure knowledge of one tech thing, and then people assume you're a master at it. Like, have you actually played this champ before? No, but I do know this.
It's like Yasuo. You E over a wall through a jungle minion, and people are like, okay, that guy knows how to play, even if you're 0-10.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason why the value isn't at what it used to be is because they added the super nice for Ivern Q resetting, getting those refunds once you land them on the jungle camp. So it's way easier for the average person to just spam your Qs as you're traveling through. Meanwhile, the trees are going to be trading scuttle crabs here. No confrontation thus far, and it is going to be Santorin leaving behind the double deep wards here. Always love this one, seeing Gromp and blue side spawn. Plus, with the reset here for Closer down to the bottom side, we will get the meetup.
I'm interested to see if Quid is actually going to commit his TP or not, because he had pushed so heavily in mid, hadn't even had to spend any mana. Oh, their hook goes in, and Poome going to try to turn this around. They're looking for Busio, but Closer's coming in. Can he save him? Flashing forward with the shield. Will barely keep Busio alive there. As Poome is now going to have to flash out from the ricochets, and that boomerang blade coming through from Doublelift, nearly getting a kill back.
Yeah, it looked like Poome was focused on trying to land a hook onto Doublelift and pull him under turret, but a minion was in the way, and then he ate a boomerang to the face, barely able to stay alive there. At the tail end of that, all sums down for Poome. Tomo lost his ghost, Busio lost his, Closer used his flash, Santorin used his. A lot of sums down that trade.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because as the play started, Kobe pointed over to me, and I'm like, why is he pointing at me? I'm a color caster.
Your brain hadn't turned back online.
I'm like, what do you want, bro? Like, I look to my left, there's no one there. I'm like, oh!
It's your time to shine, buddy. Stop. Here comes the action. Stop trying to help him. Let him mess up. It'd be so great if there's just this action, no one talking, no play-by-play.
Who's the dummy who's not talking here? What's going on?
we could do the, take turns. It's going to be a random. Who's your play-by-play today?
Rock, paper, scissors. Rich looking pretty good on the top side, has opened up a nice little early advantage here. Ssumday already grabbing as Poome's gonna go aggressive here. Rocket jump will keep Quid safe.
And nice little attempt there by Poome. Just held on to his Q, didn't even bother shooting that because you have to be conscious of that Tristana rocket jump timing can buffer it.
Yeah, nice little pass through. Does mean we're gonna get now some time here for closer, trying to get some extra vision for Quid on top side, so you have a little bit easier time hovering away up to here. Make sure you're not gonna be the victim of another bypass. But bottom side's being pushed in, so Poome's gonna have to get back down there.
Yeah, Poome hitting that back down towards bottom. I mean, it's just so key to keep your Tristana aggressive. This champion really does succeed by looking for these aggressive trades where you can rocket jump in, get value out of that explosive shot, that explosive charge that you can throw in. And see if they're gonna be able to do it.
Honestly, I expect more jungle attention down towards bottom side with the amount of summoner spells that were blown in the last one. Even with no kill going down, it is definitely ripe for a first blood.
Does feel like the most important lane in most playmaking for both teams as well. Top side, 400 Thieves, probably just going to leave the Kai'Sa on an island unless you need to protect him. Mid lane's mostly about pushing for the side of Tristana. Here's where you want to fight.
Spell shield used on the hook there. Nicely done by Doublelift. You can see they tried to time the Acathian Ray and actually get that spell shield taken off. Tomo, though, getting chunked low here. And that is one annoying thing about those iron brushes coming down is that the Maokai can also use them for his own saplings.
Such a hard counter. Absolutely smashes Ivern because he can throw saplings into the brushes.
Devastating tree advantage here over to the Maokai.
I love overstating tiny interactions like that. It is game-changing to play into Ivern.
It does change the game, that's true. Ivern could be in a little bit of trouble here. Closer's got no flash, but he is pulling back. Jensen getting pushed back here by Quid, but the shock blast comes through and they might have enough damage to get him. Not quite.
A little surprised to not just see the all-in onto Closer there. The fact that, you know, you might get buster shotted into turret if you try and flash hammer form Q on top of him with the speed up through your gate. But he had no flash, and assuming that that was knowledge, you can at least get first blood there for sure. If Jensen wanted to go for that, you have phase rush proccing as well. Like,
even just like a flash range for Mata.
Yeah, I felt like that was a pretty guaranteed kill there. If they didn't know Closer had flash, then that would probably be the reason that you didn't look for it.
Yeah, it is possible. I think they would have a timer on it, but I think they were maybe just nervous about committing so heavily onto Closer, giving a kill over to Quid and maybe a reset and a potential for a double kill.
Yeah, they were probably nervous because of the large stakes of this game, fellas.
True.
Yeah.
Big.
Knees weak.
Arms are sweaty.
Yeah.
Huge
Spaghetti.
implications here.
Double stomp
7th or 8th. What's it gonna be?
We'll find out. Doublelift 32-11 on the Sivir. Hasn't played it for a long time. It's kind of funny. I mean, I guess it was a pretty big pick for him back in the day, but it's not one I really associate with him anymore because Sivir just hasn't been meta for so long.
Definitely has been a while, but he already passed the first old man hands test, which was the Blitzcrank hook at about 50% distance. So spell shield on point for him. And I was going to point out during Champ Select, you know, as they take this Dragon 2, it's kind of funny because earlier in the weekend, we did see a bunch of comps with super high range ultimates being thrown at Doublelift and him getting killed from off screen from skill shots. So really wants to make sure that's not going to happen again with, you know, Kai'Sa W's and everything. Jayce Q's coming through. He was the victim of the double skill shot hit.
I was going to say, too, no longer thought of as a signature Doublelift champion, but he's had so many over the course of time, even ironic ones like the Doublelift Senna or the Doublelift Vladimir. He's been associated
Okay,
so strongly.
we can all agree it's the Lucian though, right?
It's a Lucian.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
the Doublelift Lucian is a huge one.
The
but
pocket pick video
from what was that?
I don't know, 2015 or 2016 or
Yes.
something like that. It was a while ago.
Which I remember at the time, everyone was laughing because they were like, Lucian's meta right now. Everyone plays this.
Gotta tell him about the level 2 power spike, you know?
Exactly.
See, what you do is you lock in Braum and you lock in Lucian. And then
Okay,
you get
and
level 2.
we
You're
rocket
passive.
jump at Jensen, give him a little present.
Yep. A little delivery system there as Ivern just kind of doing the drive-by on mid. Some pretty good vision control around that top side of mid lane from Dignitas, though, keeping Jensen safe. As long as you have one side to play to, if your jungler's helping you out, warding that side, you can always kind of cheat to one side of the map and just play away from that fog. And now Santorin and Poome trying to move into this darkness on the bot side, and they're going to get wards now on both sides of mid lane. So a lot of protection here around Jensen, who has been getting pushed in pretty heavily.
I'm going to issue these teams a 2-minute warning.
The Ring of Fire will commence.
If there's no first blood in 2 minutes, I'm going to pitch Satanic Ivern. I think I've sold both of you on Satanic Ivern.
Doublelift in a lot of trouble. Sidestep there, the cleanse and the flash both committed as well as the ulti. We didn't get to see the beginning of that, but I am assuming it's just kind of got tagged by something out of the brush. Because I was going to say it was going to be a flash hook from Poome, but maybe he just walked out and was able to punch him up or something, and he had the cleanse flash from that because he didn't have spell shield for when he shot that hook off as we tabbed down.
I mean, they definitely could do another follow-up down there with now no summoner spells or ultimate for the Sivir.
Yeah, I mean, Busio was over by mid lane, so yeah, Poome probably just runs straight in on top of him, looks for that knock-up, double-lift, he's going to get punched up here, and then in goes Tomo with the Killer Instinct. Nice sidestep on the hook, that would have been death for sure.
Able to stay alive, but did cost basically everything out of him. No ult, no flash, no cleanse now. And like you said, potential for a repeat gank. We've seen Jensen having some good shove in mid lane, able to grab some turret plates combined with the Rift Herald that they were able to use, get him funneled a little bit ahead. Can potentially meet up for a dive now.
And I feel like we've seen that happen to the 100 Thieves bot lane a number of times where, you know, Busio goes on these roam timers and doublelift gets punished, and I don't know if that's him kind of having this false sense of security or if him, you know, not respecting the fact that his support is missing. But I feel like that's been a bit of a common occurrence for 100 Thieves.
Did do a pretty good job escaping considering the circumstances, though. You know, you want to play it the safest there, even if he is able to dodge the hook afterwards. Want to save that skill, the spell shield for it just in case. And Sivir just gets right back to wave clearing really quickly here. So 100 Thieves rotate Busio away from him again.
And there's a lot of plates, honestly, for both teams across the map. But 3 plates taken bot, 400 Thieves, 2 plates mid, 2 plates top on the other side. You know, it's 2-2 and 1 down on that bot side. So both teams actually getting a lot of gold off these turret plates.
Yep. Definitely looking for another pick here, too. That Ivern Q can't quite catch him, though. So no follow-up, even though Daisy is summoned as well. And since you've also got pushing mid lane here, 100 Thieves in a scenario where...
Yeah, Quid potentially in trouble here. Jensen going forward, but the flash is there from closer, and the rocket jump going to take Quid to safety. Busio and doublelift now playing around that bottom side. The hook going to connect here onto Tomo, and he's in a lot of trouble. Tomo trying to get out of there with the Killer Instinct. Will create some space, but it's doublelift now firing onto Poome. Poome does have the flash, may have to use it, but now Santorin coming in, flashing forward, twisted advance. It's going to knock doublelift over the wall, and doublelift looking like he is sure to fall. Tomo grabs the first blood there, and Jensen should be able to escape. Closer trying to chase in with the Daisy, will not be able to finish him off.
Nice start to the fight there for the side of 100 Thieves, but the members of Dignitas collapsing a little bit faster and better.
Going over the wall, not going to be able to find anything.
Yeah, the fact that Tomo was forced out very early on, but a nice hook back by Poome kept him alive a little bit longer, buying time for Santorin to get involved, who had a really nice bramble smash on doublelift there.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, it starts out so good for 100 Thieves, but look at minimap. The Jayce and the Maokai that are in the river first are going to make the difference. 100 Thieves, they get health advantage on Tomo. They blow his flash. Then they turn Tom's Poome. They get another health advantage. Doublelift, getting him low. But here comes the rotation. It's all about the Jayce Maokai that comes down. Santorin gets right onto doublelift, and Jayce is here way before the Tristana. So earlier team play from Dignitas, having priority in the river and making the quicker rotation to support their bottom lane. Even though their bottom lane got picked first, Dignitas come out on top.
Absolutely, and I would say that's also a pretty big summoner difference.
Quid.
As Quid in a lot of trouble, he's going to jump forward, but he didn't realize everyone was there. The Buster shot will create some space, and now it's going to get turned around on Poome. Santorin is going to be the one to fall, as Poome's going to be able to get out with that Buster shot, but in mid lane, it's Tomo pushing up, and that was a little bit surprising. I mean, Quid went in, I don't think he realized the extra man was there, but he had the support to keep him safe.
Might have known that there couldn't be that many people there, considering Tomo, I think, was showing on the wave at that point. Fiora's top. It's just a 3-man, and so, yeah, he jumped in what looked like really aggressively, but more support on the side of 100 Thieves, able to keep him alive there. Now they're going to get their second dragon as well, so game plan not looking too bad for 100 Thieves. They're stacking these dragons up. They're even in gold. They have a very strong scaling composition when you have double marksman plus Ivern. You have frontline available in Daisy, Ssumday, and Nautilus. Like, I'd say the game plan looks pretty good right now.
Absolutely.
And now that both their solo laners have their teleports up, easy to rotate Sivir into a really safe lane to farm. Since doublelift still has to wait a little bit for his flash cooldown to come up, just get your solo lanes pushing out on side, get your Sivir into mid lane. He even can take away Raptor camps, truly get to that CS, 500 CS mark for the Sivir as quickly as possible, and continue to farm pretty safely here as Busio even gets bottom side vision to help support.
I will say one thing, despite some of the criticisms that have been fair towards Quid, he is really good at farming. This guy just doesn't seem to miss CS. He's at 170 CS here. 15 minutes in, has moved around the map a bit with the team, has been part of these skirmishes. It's been something he's been really, really adept at.
And now he's got a bazooka and a lightning bolt to do it with. So helps you when you can blow up the minion waves instantly with the static shiv Tristana. And the bottom side tower's kind of low. They might use it as bait. Look at Dignitas. They've actually got 2 members trying to use it as bait down here against Quid.
In some trouble, but there's no flash on Santorin, so the rocket jump will keep him safe. Doesn't have to worry about any sort of flash forward for a twisted advance.
That is one of the things I think that, if you're complimenting the CSing of Quid, which is incredible, the times that he seems to get into trouble is sometimes decision-making in team fights and stuff like that. Initially with that jump in, reminded me of some of his Azir plays where he ends up a little bit far ahead of the rest of the team trying to make a big play. But this time doing a very good job staying safe in the side lane and just focusing on pushing up and trying to grab turrets.
And you can see Busio just playing over the wall there in the Raptors pit. He has that Hex Flash available, so I think they were trying to bait some sort of a dive, see if Dignitas would look for that aggressive play, but instead it's Dignitas onto the Herald up on this top side. Quid does have his teleport. The question is, will he actually TP up? Because Closer looks like he is positioning to challenge, but Rich is moving down. There's 5 members of Dig. I think you should just take the tier 2 bot, give this up here as 100 Thieves, and it looks like they just wanted to keep them interested, keep them there to buy time for the Tristana split push.
Yeah, looking very good. Able to grab 2 turrets in exchange for that Rift Herald. Nice stuff out of them. And I gotta say, so far for Dignitas, the kind of X factor, which we haven't touched on, is Rich.
Oh, nice.
As Doublelift reacts again to the spell shield there.
He's 3 for 3.
Did he even have vision on that? Because they didn't have vision over the wall. Did he just hear it?
Observers, investigate.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious if he saw him like coming around on that angle or what actually tipped him off, because
Minions dying just as soon as he's gonna run forward.
Dun dun.
So when does he see it? I mean, oh, okay. So it actually shows it when it's shooting out, even though it was over the wall, but still, that was well done there by Doublelift. I think that was one you have to give him credit for.
Definitely the case. Back up onto the top side, like I was saying, Rich is supposed to be this counter pick into tanks with the Fiora, going to become a split push fresh and all this stuff threat, but it hasn't happened yet in this game, and it's beginning to get to the point where he hasn't been accelerated either. So the Tristana's on 2 full items to Rich's 1 at this point, and so you're not going to become a bigger split push threat right now, and it feels like you're going to fall into irrelevancy.
Santorin looking for an engage here in mid lane, but nice buffer on the hook there by Busio, pulls him out of trouble. Doublelift kept safe on the attempted engage from Dig, but I agree, and it's kind of felt like that has been a bit of a pattern on a lot of these kind of like quote-unquote counter picks against Ssumday. Like Ssumdays are getting so adept at just giving up the minimum that they never really seem to be too punished.
No, definitely a 10 CS advantage, and hopefully going to be a bigger team fight threat, or at least a better front line for your threats here. Makes it feel like 100 Thieves are going to be pretty good. We've seen Fioras really struggle sometimes in team fights. There's some people who are still on the Rich all-pro train, I know, and this is a game where if you want the all-pro votes, you might be the one who has to carry your team here.
And honestly, Fiora really takes off once you start to get multiple items. Once the Ravenous Hydra is fully completed and you start to become a beast, annihilating those minion waves in the side lane and being able to make your own plays.
For the engage here, Poome searching with the hook, gets a spell shield from Doublelift. Obviously will not connect, but as Poome gets some more CDR, can get a little bit more advantageous towards the Blitzcrank, but it's hard. You need to constantly be looking for these plays, constantly fishing to force out these defensive cooldowns.
And to back on the Quid point about his items, the reason I brought that up relative to the Fiora is because you presume that's where 100 Thieves is actually going to match the lanes. You don't want to put your tank Ssumday into this thing. You want to leave the Tristana there where you'll have shove with the static shiv and your attacks normally. And a lot of ways to survive an all-in by a Fiora, being able to punt her away if her riposte doesn't stop it, as well as having your own buster shot, does sometimes become difficult if you fall behind the Tristana to find angles onto her.
And let's just be honest right now. This game is going all according to 100 Thieves' plan here. They're scaling so nicely. Tristana with levels, gets the extra range. Sivir scaling up really well here. Doublelift has been on point with the CS, with the spell shields as well. They're trying to get multiple items on these carries. The double carry comp here with the Ivern from Closer to support and peel for them. Critically though,
Poome looking for the engage, flashes forward. Nice buffer there from Quid. The question is posed by Poome, and the answer is equal to the task there from Quid as he's able to get away. They do at least force the flash off Busio as well, so it is a trade of summoners, but pretty heavy commitment to try to force the play here around this dragon. This will be third one if 100 Thieves can grab it.
Yeah, Maokai ultimate is one of the most game-changing early team fight ultimates to use. Dignitas now going to play without that.
Busio hooking in, the ulti onto Jensen, but it's a hook there over onto Closer. Closer pulled in. Quid's going to jump into the back line, trying to finish him off. Couldn't kill Santorin. And it's Tomo now chasing down Closer, but he's going to get rooted up by the root caller. Rich now has TP'd in. The parry there on the flip back from Ssumday, but it's not enough to finish off Quid. He's trying to retreat, but Doublelift will cut him down. 100 Thieves coming out on top as Dignitas seemed very disjointed in that one.
Yeah, both teams splitting their focus quite a bit in that fight. It is a 2-for-2 though. Dragon's still up, and the ability for Dignitas to take this dragon.
Yeah.
Ssumday's pushing in. They're going to TP back in. They're looking for the play. It is secured by Santorin, but what can 100 Thieves get off of it? Q flash coming through from Ssumday, but I think the slows are more than enough. They can just walk it out with the acceleration gate. 100 Thieves, at the end of the day, they do get pushed off. You know, it is the 2-for-2 kill trade. But there were some close moments on both sides.
Yeah, super close one. Ends up being in the favor of Dignitas because Santorin barely survives. Dignitas end up having a smite. Here's the initiation though, the hook from Busio into the ultimate on Jensen, and then the follow through here. Santorin's so low that Quid tries to jump in and finish him, uses a lot to section up towards the top side of this team fight, but Tomo chases down Closer, takes out the enemy jungle.
One thing that went so bad for Dig though, Rich actually failed his Q, so he had to flash over the wall and had no Q to actually chase down and get those kills.
That's where I was exactly going to go. The hook onto Closer was good to kind of break the fight battle lines up, which should have given them easy targets either onto Closer or onto Quid, who was also kind of in the middle of the team there. But the fact that they didn't pick either one, Tomo did eventually get the kill on Closer, but it took forever.
And now 100 Thieves just going to force the Baron here 21 minutes in. There's no TP on Rich, and he showed bot, and that is going to trigger this play. And they're just going to be burning it down. Here comes Santorin with the Nature's Grasp, but I don't think he's even going to be able to get in the pit. It's secured there by the Ivern. And now Santorin in the middle of the team. He's going to be going down. Quid will just knock Jensen away. A great call and a risky play from Dig to show Rich bot with no TP right after he TP'd in that dragon play.
That combined with being down tempo from the force reset after the dragon, you saw 100 Thieves kind of chase them out through bot lane. That gave time for the respawning members of 100 Thieves to instantly run back to Baron. And then, like you said, because Rich re-shows in bot side, that is the clearest signal for them to just start the Baron up there, able to burn it down before anyone was really in range for even a smite contest.
Yeah, gonna do a lot here for 100 Thieves. Now they've got Baron to go siege with. They get their Baron empowered reset off, trying to get back to top side before the next minion wave gets in here for Tomo to just keep the tower losses at that one that you saw Fiora get in mid lane. And it looks like Quid will get there in time to do just that. Tomo gets caught up here, but nobody going to find him as he, ooh, barely sneaks away inside the alcove.
A couple pixels closer, that blue trinket would have seen him. You can expect 100 Thieves would have been very happy to jump on him there. He does survive. Rich also during that time period able to break bot turret and start getting some more gold into his pockets, hopefully getting close to that Ravenous Hydra completed.
Yeah, I mean, Baron buff starts with plus 1500. It's now at plus 700 right now, so it actually has been Dignitas getting more gold on the map. But now 100 Thieves closing in on top side. They want to play between this top tier 2 as well as that mid tier 2, try to get that moving in their direction. And Poome's just going to hook in Daisy. They're going to burst it down. This is something that a lot of players have been talking about, is once you realize how much of the power that Ivern has is in the Daisy and you start focusing it down more, it becomes easier to manage.
Yeah, the builds sometimes also focus on making your Daisy empowered. You saw that in the previous game with the PTA and Rylai's build. That is one of the things that Daisy can abuse. So if you kill her, it's another portion of the team fight power gone on top of how your items are interacting with her.
Rich's base, though, he's back with the team. Ssumday is not here, so there could be potentially an angle for Dignitas to force a play, and they're going to look for Quid, as Quid has got to get out there, but he's going to get knocked out of his rocket jump. Creates the space, though, and Santorin trying to follow up. Rich into the back line, looking to knock down Quid. In comes Tomo, and he gets the shutdown onto Quid, and now Ssumday's in trouble. He's on the run, but he is down immediately. Closer gonna have to flash over the wall, and it's Busio trying to make a run for it down here, but he's gonna fall as well. There's no getting away from the Fiora. Rich will grab another kill. Beautifully set up by Jensen, knocked Quid out of the air with the hammer form knockback, interrupts the rocket jump there.
What an engage onto Quid. Look at this one. As you say, goes in, hammer form, he waits for it, boink, right out of it. And then, even though you get a good buster shot, the Maokai ultimate comes through. They snare two, redemption comes down, they do everything they can on the side of 100 Thieves to keep Quid alive, but he's got nothing left to escape.
Really looked for a moment there like he was going to live, have the Fiora ultimate timeout, which maybe gives you a chance to turn because the Fiora healing came up pretty big in that fight. But the fact that the Maokai root just barely tagged him, he might have been able to hug left a little bit more and hide behind. I believe it was Busio body blocking it, but not able to do so.
My final calculations on that Baron buff, negative 1,700 and something I saw at the top there. So, a lot of gold loss during that Baron.
Below average.
Certainly below average.
One of the worst trade deals of all time.
You could have done better.
Yeah.
I think this is Dignitas' first gold lead this game as well on the tail end of that fight. So feeling good. The fact that they also stopped the Drake stacking. It's not the end of the world for 100 Thieves, but at least a couple wrenches thrown in the game plan.
100 Thieves, though, they're trying to get back towards this dragon. They're looking like they want to force it. Rich is already up at that top tier 2, though, very shortly. Will be knocking it down. So 100 Thieves have got to send someone back, but it's going to be an interrupt on the recall from Ssumday, and now Ssumday gets hooked in. He's got no one to go all out on, so he's trying to make a run for it, but now Rich TPing in as Busio goes forward. He's going to get knocked up, and he's going to get knocked down. Quid in the midst of things, looking for a reset. He's going to have to flash over the wall, though, as Rich pops the ulti. The challenge is issued, and Quid is not equal to it. And now the Shock Blast knocks across multiple members. Jensen goes forward, and Rich gets a kill on the Quid. Ssumday's on the run, but Ssumday is down, and Tomo's in the back line. He knocks down another as Jensen knocks down a third. It is a clean ace for Dignitas.
Looks like Dig is thinking about a potential end here. They're looking to ignore the dragon. At the very least, grab bot inhibitor, stacking up with this wave, maybe getting a little ahead of themselves. The rest of the members breaking away from the 5-man. I'm just calling what it looked like they were going for.
Mark,
but
I'm all for setting really lofty goals for yourself, but that is certainly a reach. They're going to get as much as they can.
When you start 5-manning bottom, somewhat, this is every team has had this call where you win a fight and you go Baron and it's 18 minutes, or like end the game and it's like 22 minutes. So not able to do that. They just grabbed a couple of these objectives here. A ton of turrets though.
What a fight though, man.
Yeah, huge 5-for-0 ace, 6K gold lead. And I want to give a head tap to Poome for how he started that fight. When you go against Kai'Sa, your hook is very telegraphed. He turns around for a split second there and tries to break vision by walking up against the wall so that Kai'Sa can't really see the hook coming and time your W to immune it. I think that was a pretty intentional position there by Poome to try and make it as difficult as possible for Ssumday to read when that hook was coming.
Yeah, they absolutely annihilate the front line. And then look at this. Santorin is going to go in on the Maokai and catch Quid with the flash W, gets behind him for the Q, and they just dogpile on top of him. Every member blasting that.
Though Ssumday finding a pick here. It's Poome. He's going to be going down in a hurry, but Doublelift in trouble as Rich is going to the back line. He gets caught by the Nature's Grasp, and now the challenge is issue. Quid trying to jump in, appeal for his AD carry, but he cannot. And now Rich is going to knock him down. The rest of 100 Thieves looking like they're sure to follow as Tomo is into the back line with the killer instinct. He's got it, and Dignitas have got this game. They couldn't end last time, but this time they surely can. Pushing down mid lane. Dignitas will end their season on a win, will claim 7th spot in the LCS.
Huge bounce back from Dignitas there after losing the Baron off the back of Jensen and Rich, the solo laners for Dignitas, stopping that Baron push and then setting up the next couple of fights to secure themselves in the most important tiebreaker, 7th place for summer playoffs.
Their entire life has been leading up to this moment.
The players are elated.
Dignitas going to be able to get the dub. Nicely done from them, honestly. The early game was looking so 100 Thieves favored, but Dig out team fighting down the stretch. It felt like it was all about those 5v5s, how they were able to execute. You know, Rich was such a menace in the back line, and they coordinated better. You know, they found opportunities even after 100 Thieves got that rush down on the Baron. They found a great engage where Jensen is knocking Quid out of that rocket jump, and they're finding windows to attack 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Jensen Jayce earlier on. Ever since he's got his hands on this thing, has looked really good for Dignitas. Finishing strong, very important heading into playoffs here. Yes, you know, 7th is right next to 8th, not very far away.
But it's above it.
But it is above
it's
it.
Like bunk beds, you know? You're still sleeping in the same bed, but someone gets the top bunk.
And everybody
Dignitas is in the top bunk. 100 Thieves sleeping on the bottom.
Yeah, and the momentum, like you said, Azael, before. Like, you just had Rich pop off on the Fiora, took a little bit to scale up, but once you got those 2 items, finding big team fights, Poome landing good hooks, 6-0 for both Tomo and Jensen. Yeah, it's a feel-good win.
The team fighting for this team really looking good. You know, even right after they lost the Baron, still winning multiple fights. And here's how it started. 100 Thieves wanted to make a pick to try and get back into it since they just, you know, lost that last one to Dig. But look at the answer. Rich right into the back line. just demolishes the Sivir, even with teammates around.
Nice. Started the fight out with access onto Doublelift as they tried to finish off Poome, but then once the team tried to save him, was able to flash forward onto the other side, get the last vital proc, get that kill.
Yeah, the Q flash was clean from Rich to actually finish that off.
That guy's played in the LPL. He's played against the good Fioras. He knows.
There you go. And now he is one of them. And we're going to be joining Gabby and Santorin for our Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Azael, and the rest of the Dive cast. Wanted to get a quick word from you. I know it's been a long day and you're ready to rest up, but you did have to make a turnaround playing a game earlier today, recovering. What were you and the rest of the team doing in that kind of purgatory session to gear up for this tiebreaker?
Well, first we watched the review of the other game, because we made a lot of mistakes and it was not clean. I particularly played pretty bad. So, just watch the game, reset mentally, talk about draft a little bit, because, we actually played 100 Thieves this week earlier as well. So it's kind of like, okay, might be a very similar draft, that kind of stuff. But, we just had to reset mentally because, it always sucks losing.
On that note of it might be kind of a similar draft, when speaking to Golden Guardian Spooks, he did say when it comes to facing off against 100 Thieves that there's a clear game plan. Do you feel that was a factor when facing them here in the tiebreaker?
I mean, yeah, you definitely know what 100 Thieves wants to play, same as earlier game when they were playing the Seri, front to back kind of stuff. This is kind of what they're known for, the bread and butter. And then you also got to be a little bit careful of the closer Viego. But generally speaking, you kind of know how they're going to draft, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, he did go a different look today, that's for sure. But with a victory under your belt to kind of set the tone going into playoffs before we go over to the lounge, what's your thoughts, mindset from this team? I know it's kind of this weird situation, battling for 7th and 8th, but then getting into that do or die territory.
Yeah, I mean, battling for 7th and 8th is, the stakes are not as high as it's going to be in playoffs, because we pretty much started in the lower bracket, which means if we mess up one time, we're out, So the stakes are really high, which is really exciting. This is the best time of the year, everything's on the line, and, you can only go up, hopefully. And I've seen a lot of teams make it through the lower bracket and win the whole thing. I lost to it a couple of times, so I'm excited.
See, this is the opportunity to turn it around. People love a miracle run, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations on this victory to round out the regular season. I'll let you rejoin the team, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Let's head on over to the Analyst Lounge.
Welcome back to the Analyst Lounge. We are going to take a look at kind of what I think is the game-changing Dragon fight, right? There were a lot of fights in that game. They went back and forth. Let's take a look at this, though.
Right.
And watch Santorin, because right here, you're going to see the power of Maokai.
Yes, the absolute beauty of Maokai. And in this case, we're calling him Slamtorin for one reason and one reason only.
It's coming. Oh, there we go.
But yeah, that team fight was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he set up the fight earlier with his ultimate, and then obviously his going in, getting that slam, setting up the rest of the fight, delivers the win, you could say, for Dignitas, and Grubhub is delivering all of your favorite food to keep you satisfied during a great day of matches. Keep yourself fed and use code LCS Summer for $10 off your delivery orders of $15 or more for new diners. Terms apply. And that's it from us. We're gonna go to break, and before C9 versus GG, it will be another episode of This or That.